How do you think societal and cultural expectations around fatherhood influence our views on dating men who were raised without their fathers?
Um, you know what? I think it's extremely impactful, but then it also begs the question of which cultural and societal views are you talking about, right? Because when we just speak of the Black community, like the other woman on that clip was stating, she doesn't know, but she's thinking about 95% of Black men didn't grow up with their father. And that's because that is the narrative, right? That our fathers leave. We don't have them in the household. Whereas maybe if you're from a different culture, they don't have that same narrative. Most of them, as from the outside looking in, it seems that they grow up with their fathers in the household. So that's the norm. It only really becomes a conversation, unfortunately, when we talk about Black people, even though this isn't only a Black people's conflict, but that becomes the huge thing with us, that Black men won't stay, that Black men leave their children, that we don't have men in the household for multiple different reasons. And because of that, that's the norm. And because that's the norm, our children are messed up. And since our children are messed up, we grow up and then we have messed up children, and it just becomes a generational curse. So I think it's extremely impactful what society puts out there, but it also depends on what we're paying attention to.
Yeah, I like that. You got to be selective on what you digest when it comes to what people are putting out there, because I mean, you do have some kids that turn out very well without a father, but it's going to take that support system. And it's gonna. Now we're not pushing that message. I don't suggest a father not being in the house, but even if a father's in the house, you still got to evaluate the impact that he does have within that home. Go ahead, Sharon.
Oh yeah, and so I just want to be clear with this when it comes to people choosing their mate. Like, there's a billion people in this world, billions of people in this world. You just have to pick one. So I look at this: if you have these standards, you'll be able to actually find somebody, God willing, you know what I'm saying, with those standards. And I don't feel like it's harsh for you to have something that where it's like you got checkpoints for who you decide to spend the rest of your life with and procreate with. Now, if you're looking for people to, do therapy sessions with, that's a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? Some people got time to work with people and all that other stuff. Me, I will look at it like, okay, let me see. Do you fit this criteria? Nope. All right, next. You know what I'm saying? Or however it may be. But I feel like it is okay to be selective with the people that you're going to have in your life. And I feel like we probably need way more of that, because that will prevent all of these divorces. That'll prevent all of these broken homes and all of these different situations, because a lot of us fuck up by not being selective from the get-go, because you should have saw those what we call red flags and cut them motherfuckers off right there. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times I see, I'm like, damn, man, like, say, I'm sure everybody on this panel or whatever you want to call it was with somebody, right? In love, broke up with them. Then you backtrack and started thinking about the relationship. You like, damn, I should have never fucked with them motherfuckers anyway.
100%.
Am I right? So
Yes.
with that learning lesson, you have to take that lesson and be like, okay, now I'm gonna apply this for the rest of the people that I'm
Yeah.
gonna deal with, the same way that sister said in that video. She said that her messing with guys that wasn't, raised in a two-parent household or with their dads in their life, it was fucking up. Now she found something that works for her. That's cool. But then there might be a woman that'll see a man that was raised with his woman in the house, I mean, with his father in the house, and say, I can't deal with that type of guy because he's too overbearing. He's too controlling. He wants things to go this way. When I grew up, my mom controlled everything.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And my mom made the decisions, and the man probably just sat back and was like, "Whatever you say, babe, shit, it's on you. You in control." You know what I mean? Those dynamics also play a part, because I hate to get into like the alpha and the beta male type of conversation, but there are relationships where the woman has the power, and I don't know how the fuck that worked because I never seen it. I didn't grow up in it. but I have observed it because I'm like, bro, even like, if I talk to you about business, your wife should not be calling me about business ever. She shouldn't even have my fucking phone number. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should never say, hey, baby, you just call him and talk to him. That should never happen. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen situations and I've been in situations where that has happened. But those two people are happily together. That's just their dynamic. You know what I'm saying? So, who knows? But that guy also didn't grow up with the man in his life. He hates his father. And I know them. I hate to, it's a personal story, but then I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. So he's okay with this woman calling the shots and doing these different things because his mama called the shots and did all of those things. So that relationship works for them. But if I was dating her, I'd be like, nah, hell nah, no. You know what I'm saying? She probably wouldn't like me because certain shit wouldn't fly. Because I saw certain shit in my life where my dad didn't let certain shit fly. You know what I'm saying? The man was dominant. So, everybody
Well,
got their thing. You just got to find out what's right for you. There's no right or wrong way. You know what I'm saying? I will never, ever, ever, as hard as it fucking is to be in a relationship anyway, I will never tell somebody that their criteria or what they want in a person is too much and they shouldn't have it. Because at the end of the day, you're looking for only one person. You know what I'm saying? One. And once you find that one, you should be good.
Yeah, Sharm, I think you made a good point about the power dynamics. Then, ladies, I want to ask you guys a question. Do you guys prefer for men to be more so dominant when it comes to the relationship, or do you think it should be equal say so as far as how things are ran in the house? Is this one of those things like it's situational? Like some women say, I want a man to come in and run his household like it's supposed to be. But unfortunately, when I see a sign of weakness, then I have to step in and intervene. I got to carry us and I got to make the decision. So, but is this something that you guys desire? And I'm not asking you to speak for all women, but just you guys personally. Yeah, just so we can kind of just measure on how people think individually.
I would prefer a dominant man because my father was dominant. That's what I'm used to. I'm used to a man's man. I'm used to him being the director of the show, right? Like I feel that both the man and the woman both have their roles, and the man is honestly the leader of the household. That's why he is the protector. That's why he is the provider. We look to that man for that situation. So I would rather my man be the leader and protector of the household and for me to be able to trust him. And if he is my man, then I already trust him enough to make those decisions. I think it becomes a question when women don't feel safe in that place and they can't trust that man, right? Then they start feeling like, well, I need to make the decisions because I don't trust you. I don't believe you can do it on your own. Or even like we were talking about before, for a lot of women that didn't grow up with their father in their household, because even though my father wasn't in my household, he was in my life, right? So I still got to see him in his form and being a husband. So if they didn't see that and you see where it's the woman always taking care of things, you naturally grow up just not trusting men as much. So it's harder for you to let go of that control and say, okay, I'm going to allow you to make these decisions and trust that you're able to do it um, without my direction. But I prefer a man who's going to do that. I've seen my mother make a lot of decisions on her own, and she complains more about having to do all of this on her own. I would just rather be in a situation where I don't. I would just want to be in my feminine energy. I'm not.